All right, so today we're in Chapter 2 test review. This is going to review you for your quiz, but also your test. It's going to show you the potential review questions that will be on your test next Wednesday. No review section on the quiz, but it will be on the test. All right? And any of your terms are open game, okay? So, you know, your key words for rotation. What's my key word for rotation? Turns, okay? My 3 degrees of rotations, 90, 180, 270, okay? So those definitions, remember my real world examples? I could ask you for a real world example of a transformation. Butterfly. Home makeovers, I would take, okay? All right, so you're also going to have the first section of your quiz and your test. Instead of transforming an entire figure and doing like 4 new ordered pairs, the way I have it written in your test coming up is it's just 1 ordered pair. Because what we see is most of the time, if you can get 1 ordered pair, can't you get them all? Usually. So in this first section, you're going to see some specific directions to translate, to reflect, to rotate, to dilate. I'm going to hit on all of your transformations. So what I want you to do on a blank sheet of paper is go ahead, follow the instructions, and transform these ordered pairs. Okay, so to translate W, 4 units left and 4 units down, can someone raise your hand and tell me the new ordered pair? Darcy?
-8 and -8.
Perfect. -8, -1. All right, what if you needed to reflect X in the X-axis? -4, 5 in the X-axis. Emma?
-4, -5.
Perfect. -4, -5. All right. Now, what if you needed to rotate Y? And I will give you the key on your quiz on Monday. What if I needed to rotate that 90 degrees clockwise? Isabel?
-2.
No, you switched the wrong one. So what would it be? Yes, you have to switch X. Reverse them. And then reverse the sign of X. All right, if I needed to dilate Z by a scale factor of 4. Does anybody know that one? Michael?
820.
820, very good. Whatever the scale factor is, I multiply. What if my scale factor was a fraction, though? What would I need to do to the original numbers? If it was a fraction, I would divide. So if my scale factor is a whole number, I multiply. If it's a fraction, I divide. Okay? All right. Now, you're also going to have a section where you have to describe the transformation. All right? Meaning, I'm going to give you the beginning point and the end point, and then you have to tell me. And guys, please make sure you read the kind of transformation it is. Okay? So, I have, especially on rotations, I have people describing a translation, saying 4 units right or however many it is. Okay? So you have to describe the transformation I ask for. All right, so go ahead and work with your table buddy on answering these 4 questions. Hey, you're on it today. Okay, very good. All right, so describe the line of reflection. Can anybody tell me which axis is reflected here? All right, maybe you haven't answered one yet. Kyla?
Y-axis?
Yeah. Do you agree? Do you agree? It is.
Okay.
It is. Come on now, don't second guess yourself. All right, so yes, it is the y-axis. All right, describe the rotation. This is not 180 degrees because the order is flipped. So it has to be 90 or 270. 2 acceptable answers, Darcy. Yeah, but which degree of rotation is that? Like 90 clockwise, 90 counterclockwise? Anybody have any idea which one it is? Addison?
90 degrees clockwise.
Yes. Or what's its counterpart?
270.
Yes, 270 counterclockwise. Still end up at the same point. Describe the translation between those 2 points. Any of my guys over here possibly know that answer? Describe the translation. Okay, you're close. All right, Michael said 4 to the right. He is correct. To go from a -2 to a +2 on X, I'm going to go 4 right. Can y'all help him out on the second one? Yes, Trey's right. Yes, 4 up. because the y values are up and down. To get from a -2 to a +2, it's going to be 4 up. All right, on the last one, can anybody tell me the dilation? The dilation. Anyone? Darcy?
K equals 3.
Yes. How did you figure that out?
Because 2 times 3 equals -6. And
Yes.
-5 times 6 is
Very good. I have to multiply the original value by 3 to get to the new value, so k equals 3. So what would happen if you look from original to new and you have to divide? What would be true about your scale factor? It's a fraction. Okay, so remember, if you have to divide to get to the new values, that means your scale factor is a fraction. Okay. All right, so now let's move on to the graphing. All right, so now this graphing, I'm going to put this on the video, okay? And you guys can follow along with me. It's going to be kind of hard and goofy to get through everything with our shorter class. So let's just do this with me, okay? And watch up on the screen how we're working this. And then, of course, we have it on the video for you guys to go back and watch. All right, if I wanted to translate this figure 3 units right and 2 units down, what would I need to do? What would I kind of focus on, Addison?
You would have to find the coordinates of the first figure.
Okay, so that's right. So what she's saying is, okay, what are my ordered pairs here on all 4 of these corners? Now, with a translation, okay, now sometimes you need to write down the ordered pairs. With a translation, it's pretty easy to take that point and then just to count the units, right, actually on the graph. But you have to pay attention, and this happens on your quiz too. Notice how these number lines are numbered, okay? And I want to point this out because this is how your quiz is too. Notice that every line is how many? 2. So if I'm going to move it 3 right, I'm going to go, this is 2, and then halfway is like right here, that's 3. And then how many down am I going to move? How many does it say?
2.
2 down. So my new point is here, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm moving each one of these points right 3 down 2, okay? Right 3 down 2. Do you guys see that? Okay, so this is on your quiz. This is on your quiz Monday. So I literally just take each one of the original points and I follow the translation. You guys did pretty well in this on your quiz Wednesday. So I was happy with that. All right, now to reflect it in the y-axis, all right, this is my hint, okay? Y-axis, I need to do the opposite what? The opposite x value. So whatever point, again, just like Addison said, look at where your points are. All you have to do is go over to the other side and do the opposite x value. So now your points are -4 up 2, -4 up 8, -9 up 2. Do you guys see how I did that? You have one just like this on your quiz on Monday. What if, okay, I need you to answer this question. What if it had told me to reflect the x-axis? What would I have done? What would I have done? The opposite y values, and that would have flipped it down. So instead of being on a y value of 2, guess where this point would have been? A y value of -2 down here to flip the x-axis. Do you see that? Okay, so those are my reflections. Now, on the next slide, what I do want you to do, okay, for rotations and dilations, it is going to be much easier, and this is what you want to do on your quiz too, to pull out the ordered pair. So what I want you to do on your paper is write the ordered pair for each one of these points. Okay, so just go ahead and write it down on your paper. And then what we're going to do is we're going to follow the transformation to come up with our new ordered pairs. On your quiz and test, you will be graphing the image. Okay, the original figure will already be there. All right, so go ahead and write down your ordered pairs for these images or figures. So to graph these, like I said, pull out the ordered pair. So here we go. All right, there's your code for 270 clockwise rotation. So when you pull out the ordered pairs, all right, it is so much easier to see what must happen. For 270 degrees clockwise rotation, we flip them and reverse which value? The X or the Y value. The Y value reverses. That's what this negative means in front of the Y. So if it was positive, guess what? Now it's negative. So I flip it, and now it's -8, -6. So what's going to be the next ordered pair? Yes, -4, -6. Flip it and do the opposite of Y. And then -4, -2. Now you have the ordered pairs you need to graph it. Okay? So now put it on your graph. You're not doing it, but this is what you would do if it was on your quiz. And it is on your quiz. It is on your quiz. It just might be a different rotation. Okay? So for the dilation, again, it is very helpful to write your ordered pairs because now you can see exactly what you need to multiply by. I did make a little mistake there. I erased it. Okay? And then plot the points on your graph, and you've got your dotted lines. Okay, any questions about this? It's on your quiz and your test next week. All right, so now let's talk about sequence of rigid motions. All right, so this can be one of 3 transformations: a reflection, a translation, or a rotation. I can see, even if this thing was rotating, it would be hard to tell. It's not a rotation, okay? The easiest one to pick, if it's not turning, is a translation. How could you describe the translation? Because you can't just say translation. That's not the full answer. Remember, if it's a translation, what do you also have to say? How many? How many right or left, up or down? Okay, so how do you do that? You pick corresponding, you guys remember that word? Corresponding points on both figures. And you count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This means translation. Okay, I'm just going to abbreviate because we're in a hurry. 5 right and 7 down. Okay. All right. Any questions on describing a sequence of rigid motions? Any questions? And again, this is on your video for you to go back and watch as well. Similar figures, 100% of the time will be a dilation. Every single time, okay? Because they're different sizes, right? And if I'm saying, are they similar, that's what I'm testing. So how can I test if it is a true dilation? I need to compare what I call corresponding sides. Corresponding sides I need to compare. So for my purple side, how many units wide is it? It's 5 units wide. Okay, what about my blue one? How many units wide is it? It's 10. Okay, is there a clear connection to get me from 5 to 10?
Yes.
Yes, what is my scale factor? K equals 2. Dilation, K equals 2. Okay, now I need to also test it on my other side link just to make sure. How many units tall? From 2 to 8, it is 6. So on my red one, as long as my red one is 3 units tall, I'm good, which it is. So the scale factor works for all of my corresponding side links. So it is similar with the dilation of K equals 2. Okay? So remember, to do the similar figures, you have to describe the transformation. All right, proportions. So what's important here is that whatever number you start with in your ratio, so let's say I do the small figure 6 over 4. I must do it in the same order on the big figure. So we talked about that. There's more than one way you can set up this proportion. I could have done each side, 6 over x equals 4 over 6. If I go 6 over 4 here, it has to be x over 6 on the other side. So if I go x over 6, how could I solve this proportion? We talked about doing something. Just tell me. Cross products. Okay? So 6 times 6 is what? 36. equals, what's 4 times x? 4x. What could I do to solve for x? Yes, divide by 4, and x equals 9 centimeters. Okay, 9 centimeters. You're going to have a proportion on your quiz. All right, questions, guys? Okay, the ratio of the perimeter and area of similar figures. Okay, so if they are similar figures, they have to be similar for this to work. It tells me they're similar. So from red to, I don't know what happened to my colors. That was supposed to be blue. It's gray. Okay, so anyway, from the orangey one to the gray one. All right, what is my ratio of the perimeters? Do you guys remember what to do here? Yes, put it into a fraction. But what do I have to make sure I do with this fraction? Is this my final answer for perimeter? Reduce it. Okay, reduce it by what factor? 4 over 7. So this is my perimeter. Do you guys remember what I need to do to the perimeter to find the area? Yes, square it. What's 4 squared? What's 7 squared? 49. 6 squared. Yeah, I think you just were thinking the wrong number. All right, so that's perimeter and area. That's it. That's all you have to do. Okay? All right, and now we're going to review. Your review section is entirely equations. Now, on your last test, the equations were pretty simple. On this test, they are a little bit more difficult. Okay, so I've put a harder one in here. Walk through it with me. What do I need to do first on that first equation? Walk through it with me. Okay, yes, I need to do the distributive. What's 2 times 3? 6. What's 2 times negative 2p? Yes, negative 4p minus 17 equals 41. Now I notice I have 3 terms on the left side. So is there anything I could combine like terms?
17 and 6.
Yes, 6 minus 17 gives me negative 4p minus 11 equals 41. Now what do I do?
Plus 11 on both.
Yeah, very good. Plus 11. Negative 4p equals 52. Divide both sides by negative 4. P equals negative 13. You need to review your previous test. You need to go back and look over them. You have 4 problems on your test that are equations. You have 1 problem on your test that says to solve for y, which means you have to get everything else to the other side. What do I do first to solve for y? This was your bonus on last test. It's a question on this test.
You subtract 2x.
Yes, very good. I need to cancel the whole 2x. I'm not solving for x, so I minus it to the other side. Guys, can I combine these together? No, so I bring it down. 6y equals negative 2x plus 8. I just bring it down. Now what's my last step? Yes, divide everything by 6, whether it's a whole number or not. Y equals negative 1/3, reduce it, x plus 4/3. Okay? And we'll review this more, okay? So this is your, review video. But again, it's just Friday. Our test isn't until Wednesday. We'll review it more before your test.